Well, good morning. Well, this week you read about Gideon, and if there isn't a more confusing, hard to imagine situation than Gideon was in. You ever have a time when God didn't seem to be making any sense? Like you needed more money, and somehow God was telling you that you needed to quit your job and volunteer, or maybe you felt like you needed a better car, and God was telling you to give the car that you had away. Weird stuff. But sometimes the greatest blessings that God gives us come out of our obedience to the things that don't make any sense. Because we don't do them because they make sense. We do them because we're being obedient. God, who loves us and cares about us, is taking care of us. Well, I want to share just a little bit of the story that we read all week, but coming from Gideon chapter 6, beginning at verse 36, he says, Gideon said to God, if you will save Israel by my hand, as you have promised, look, I'll place a wool fleece on the threshing floor. And if there is dew only on the fleece and all the ground is dry, then I will know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you said. And that is what happened. Gideon rose early the next day. He squeezed the fleece and wrung out the dew, a bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, do not be angry with me. Let me make just one more request. Allow me one more test with the fleece. This time make the fleece dry and the ground covered with dew. And that night God did so. Only the fleece was dry and all the ground was covered with dew. I can only guess that after the first night, when Gideon had asked God to make the fleece wet and the ground dry, that when he rose, and it was, the first thing that went through his head was, maybe the fleece always would be wet in the morning. Oh, crap. I messed up. So he asked God to do exactly the opposite. Now there's no doubt. And God, who doesn't want us to be confused, said, okay, Gideon, here we go. And so he made the fleece dry and the ground wet. God doesn't want us to be confused. And he doesn't want us to run around blindly. But he does want us to trust him even when it doesn't seem like he makes sense. You see, we only see a small part of the story, just a sliver through the window. And God sees the whole of eternity all at once. So when God asks us to do something, we need not question, does it make any sense? Because way too often it's not. But what will make less sense is, do we not do something that the God of the universe, who created us and loves us and saves us, is asking us to do? Well, sometimes God is going to ask you to do something that doesn't make any sense. He's going to tell you to pick up the phone and call somebody you haven't talked to in a long, long time, and you're not going to even know what to say. And yet when the phone rings on the other side and they answer, you're going to know it in a heartbeat what exactly it was all about. For they're going to tell you what's going on their side of the phone that you had no idea about. And they're going to wonder, how in the world did you know? Maybe God is going to ask you to reach into your wallet and get out a 5 or 10, or as has been my experience, even a 20, and give it to somebody who you don't even know. Not expecting anything in return, not because they've even asked for it, but simply because God knows their needs and he wants you to participate in it. Well, I hope that this week you'll trust God even when he doesn't make any sense. I hope that you'll do those things that bring with them blessings like you can't imagine. Because the true joy of living the Christian life isn't what we receive. It's taking that which we receive and sharing it with others. And so my prayer for you today and all this week, every week, you truly experience the joy of living the Christian faith. And in his name we ask, amen.